also be looking at generating payloads with MSF Venom. But before that, yeah, I read this. Maybe I was muted though. Let's do it all. A previous task mentioned that we will be looking at some ways to use Netcat as a listener for a bind shell. So we'll start with that. In some version of Netcat, including NCEXE and Callis. To skip ahead, there's an E option, which allows you to execute a process on connection, for example, as a listener. So when we get a connection, when we're listening, we execute this then. Connecting to the a bone listener with Netcat would result in a bind shell on the target.
H says.
It is a good tire. Everything is coming together nicely. Web link.
Web link.
Web link.
Okay. Sure. Tell me what we're looking at.
Christy says.
Huge man.
I don't know what this is. More than it looked like a hockey rink.
H says.
This is a stage. Video and lighting array. The stage will take up the whole floor.
Christy says.
Okay.
A stage.
Cool. I'm trying to... Maybe I should zoom. No, I can't zoom. Didn't want me to.
H says.
Today they are working out automation. Next week they will run tests on Pyro.
Oh.
Christy says.
What is Pyro?
H says.
I'll have to go check
Pyrotechnics.
on the pizza.
Christy says.
I see. Cool. Safety.
H says.
All the fire and bangs and smoke stuff. Muted.
Oh. There. So now I switched it to be connected to one of my USB hubs that are connected
You're
on
back.
the back of the computer. Yeah, I can see it, you know. Cause when there's no input, this is not moving. So now it's definitely on a place, connected to a place it's never been. So we'll see. Those are the front connectors of the computer that I'm using for the mic. I have been using for the mic. And I tried connecting it from a USB 3 to a USB 2, and it's still the same problem. And this is a new problem, you know. I haven't had this problem. So why did it appear? Why? I don't know. Odd. Just to suddenly, you know, I didn't mute myself or anything. I just went away for a bit and came back. And you couldn't hear me anymore. So just suddenly in the middle of streaming, it just stopped working. Odd. Well, so all of the 41 seconds until the next beep. Why should I start reading? Let's do this as a test to see if the same thing happens again. And if I just, you know, walk away and come back without no reason otherwise, let's hope the pizza is done. And when I come back, let's see if this mic still works. Otherwise, I might try to switch the mic, because I have a white snowball too. I can try and put that here instead. So, I think 3 minutes wasn't very long there. Yeah, I might actually bring that up, because we won't use it downstairs for 3 weeks. Because, yeah. So, let's kind of hope it doesn't happen ever again. So I don't have to test anything. Just checking on the pizza. I took it out of the oven, but I'll need to leave it for a bit and then, you know, cut it up into pieces. So, the mic works. That's nice at least, right? Mic works.
Christy says.
Pizza safe.
Yeah. Because it would be kind of annoying not to know and have to check all the time if the mic is still working, you know. And it just died before. I think it was when I unplugged the microscope power. I had not unplugged the actual converter HDMI to USB. Oh, my time flies, you know. Anyway, let's use that time. Eventually, for the shell, connecting back with will result in a reverse shell on the target. Yeah, TTS. However, This is not included in most versions of Netcat, as it is widely seen as being very insecure. On Windows, where static binary is nearly always required anyway, this technique will work perfectly. On Linux, however, we would instead use this code to create a listener for a bind shell. And this is where I stopped last time, because I thought that I will have to look into this, because I recognize this, but I don't remember what it is really. So I'll have to Google, because I don't think the information here, it's not much. It just says what they do with this command. It doesn't explain it. So mk FIFO, and I copied the whole thing too. Makes a FIFO special file with name. Okay. So, mkFIFO makes a FIFO special file.
My eyes, is that a man page? D?
I said I used Google. I said I didn't Google for man pages, right?
Tongue.
But you're right. But it is easier to read this in this nice format, right? Than in a terminal. Don't you think?
Ha 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 ha, you sue Google to read man. Yai.
Translated from Latvian.
And also, there could be more useful information. Now, what I'm going to do with the full line is to ask ChatGPT to explain it to me.
Well, tongue.
So let's be kind to the AI for when they take over the world, So let's say, please explain and then we can let it type.
I always am kind to AI.
Good. You never know. No, this is not AI. I don't like calling this AI, but still. And I'm going to save my voice on this.
This command is a concise representation of a potential security exploit known as a reverse shell. Let's break it down. mkFIFO/tmp/f.
Even when I did
This
gain
part creates a
admin on that
FIFO,
break AI
first in,
exercise.
first out, special file named /tmp/f. FIFOs are named pipes that allow processes to communicate with each other. NCLVNP port /tmp/f. This part listens, L, on a specific port, P port, for incoming connections using the netcat, NC, utility. The input for netcat is set to read from the FIFO/tmp/f. This means that any data received on the specified port will be redirected to the FIFO. This symbol is a pipe operator, which takes the output from the command on the left and uses it as input for the command on the right. /bin/sh, this command starts a new instance of the shell, /bin/sh. In Unix-like systems, /bin/sh often points to the system's default command shell, which is typically bash or another shell. /tmp/f, this part redirects standard output, stout, of the shell to the FIFO/tmp/f. This means that any output produced by the shell will be sent to the FIFO. 2 and 1, this part redirects standard error, str, to standard output. This ensures that error messages produced by the shell are also sent to the FIFO. rm/tmp/f, finally, this command removes the FIFO/tmp/f after the shell exits. This cleans up the temporary file created earlier. Combining all these parts, the command creates a FIFO, listens on a specified port for incoming connections, and when a connection is made, it redirects it to a shell. This effectively allows an attacker to gain remote access to the system and execute arbitrary commands. The output of these commands, including any errors, is sent back to the attacker through the same connection. Once the connection is terminated, the FIFO is removed, covering the attacker's tracks.
I'll have to read that myself, I think. Even when I did gain admin on that break AI. Okay. I am tired, but my headache is kind of disappeared. That's nice.
Is like a named pipe from Windows.
Yeah, but I haven't used the word named pipe. So.
Oh, you have headache?
Oh, yeah.
Frown, frown.
Yeah, but I haven't had much headache lately, so that's nice. So. It was worse when I lift something heavy, like the Sunday I carried a printer that's like my 13-year-old that's much bigger than me. He thought it was too heavy to lift himself, and then I lifted it, and that was stupid, and I lifted it to a shelf high up too. So I don't have any. I'm not weak. It's not that I'm strong. It's just my back is broken. So when I lift stuff, it's just headache for a week. Yay!
Oh.
So, but I haven't had much headache lately, which is good. Even though I've had other stuff, like back pain. But that's. I rather have pain in my back than in my head, actually, because it's like you can't think it's good when you have any pain.
Yoga for
but,
back. Some exercises will do you good.
No, not if it's kind of. But I have removed the jumps from the stream right now, so. But I am moving. I'm thinking, will my kid be done with this call? Because I'll have to give them the pizza. I'll go and cut it up, and I'll be right back again.
Those jumps actually help my back. I lift my sister and carry her every day, especially on Monday and Friday to dialysis, so back sometimes is hurting, but I fix it with jumps and rotations.
Okay, yeah, I heard. That sounds tough. There. So, let's read their explanation.
Just some exercises from it.
Yeah,
Help
but
me.
it's from the car crash nerve thingy, so I don't think, and some squished bits in the back. I don't think though I know that training helps, being in good shape helps. Oh, my kid is calling. At once.
Well, exercises are really light. Go, don't worry.
Yes, sometimes I feel like all I do, is help the kids, but you know, that's how it is. So let's continue now. So I need to understand this in detail. I just don't want to know that this works, So the following paragraph is the technical explanation for this command. It's slightly above the level of the row. The command first creates a pipe named. Yeah, that's what it does first. So if we click named pipe, let's middle click it. So good. Now we have long text to read about this. One of the fundamental features that make Linux and other Unisys. That's a new word for me. Okay, useful. Is the pipe. Okay, so no other operating systems like Windows has pipes then? Pipes allow separate processes to communicate without having been designed explicitly to work together. This allows tools to, we know what pipes are. Quite narrow in their function to be combined in complex ways. Simple example of the script. When bash, here it's. I guess I'll read it all. I'll TTS it since my throat is sore.
When bash examines the command line, it finds the vertical bar character that separates the two commands. Bash and other shells run both commands, connecting the output of the first to the input of the second. The ls program produces a list of files in the current directory, while the grep program reads the output of ls and prints only those lines containing the letter X. The above, familiar to most Unix users, is an example of an unnamed pipe. The pipe exists only inside the kernel and cannot be accessed by processes that created it, in this case, the bash shell. For those who don't already know, a parent process is the first process started by a program that in turn creates separate child processes that execute the program. The other sort of pipe is a named pipe, which is sometimes called a FIFO. FIFO stands for first in, first out and refers to the property that the order of bytes going in is the same coming out. The name of a named pipe is actually a file name within the file system. Pipes are shown by ls as any other file with a couple of differences.
So why would this? Okay, it's okay, I get it. I thought they were like making it, but they weren't. They were just listing it.
The P in the
Of
leftmost
course.
column indicates that FIFO1 is a pipe.
Let's make it.
The rest of the permission bits control who can read or write to the pipe just like a regular file. On systems with the modern ls, the character at the end of the file name is another clue, and on Linux systems with the color option enabled, FIFO is printed in red by default. On older Linux systems, named pipes are created by the mnod program, usually located in the /etc directory. On more modern systems, mkfifo is a standard utility. The mkfifo program takes one or more file names as arguments for this task and creates pipes with those names. For example, to create a named pipe with the name pipe1, give the command.
So I'm kinda interested if I have this in my notes somewhere, which includes some of the oldest history of my colleague. Let's see. So nothing. Meaning, of course, we will need to add it, even though it's not like something. Let's put it in Linux. There. What am I looking for? Commands. So the way to show how namepipes works. This was an example.
Manitor says.
FIFO will make a file that can be written to and read from, like any file. Once read from, that data is sucked out and can't be read again, like a first in first out queue.
Cool. Thank you for the explanation. It was a very good one. Interesting. Yeah, but that's very logical. So the simplest way to show how pipes. We suppose we have created a pipe as shown above. In one virtual console 1 type ls pipe 1 and cat pipe. Voila.
Voila! The output of the command run on the first console shows up on the second console. Note that the order in which you run the commands doesn't matter. If you haven't used virtual consoles before, see the article Keyboards, Consoles, and VT Cruising by John M. Fisk in the November 1996 Linux Journal. If you watch closely, you'll notice that the first command you run appears to hang. This happens because the other end of the pipe is not yet connected, and so the kernel suspends the first process until the second process opens the pipe. In Unix jargon, the process is said to be blocked, since it is waiting for something to happen. One very useful application of named pipes is to allow totally unrelated programs to communicate with each other. For example, a program that services requests of some sort, print files, access a database, could open the pipe for reading. Then, another process could make a request by opening the pipe and writing a command.
I have to go.
The server can perform a task on behalf of the client. Blocking can also happen if the client isn't writing, or the server isn't reading. Pipe madness. Create two named pipes, pipe 1 and pipe 2. Run the commands.
there. I knew he wanted more, you know. So what I didn't get with these were, this is pipe 1 and this is pipe. Were they supposed to be the same or what? You know, this is just a name. So why are they using different names? So well, let me grab that explanation from Manotar. And let's copy this and put it in our notes. And of course, we say who said this, right? And I might change this later, but for now it's what you said. Let's just scroll down and chat there. Wait, something to happen, or your application. Maybe I should just put the DTS on. For example, a program with the services. Request to sort, print files, access a database. Could open a pipe for reading. Then another process could make a request by opening the pipe and writing a command. That is, the server can perform a task on behalf of the client. Blocking can also happen if the client isn't writing. And this is not good explanations. I'll just read a bit quietly, or we can TTS again. Sorry, I'm trying to save my
On screen, it will not appear that anything is happening, but if you run top, a command similar to PS for showing process status, you'll see that both cat programs are running like crazy, copying the letter X back and forth in an endless loop. After you press Ctrl+C to get out of the loop, you may receive the message broken pipe. This error occurs when a process writing to a pipe when the process reading the pipe closes its end. Since the reader is gone, the data has no place to go. Normally, the writer will finish writing its data and close the pipe. At this point, the reader sees the EOF, end of file, and executes the request. Whether or not the broken pipe message is issued depends on events at the exact instant the Ctrl+C is pressed. If the second cat has just read the X, pressing Ctrl+C stops the second cat, pipe 1 is closed and the first cat stops quietly, i.e., without a message. On the other hand, if the second cat is waiting for the first to write the X, Ctrl+C causes pipe 2 to close before the first cat can write to it, and the error message is issued. This sort of random behavior is known as a race condition. Command substitution. Bash uses named pipes in a really neat way. Recall that when you enclose a command in parenthesis, the command is actually run in a subshell, that is, the shell clones itself and the clone interprets the command, s, within the parenthesis. Since the outer shell is running only a single command, the output of a complete set of commands can be redirected as a unit. For example, the command
Do we really want to read all of this?
Results in the command lsl executing in a subshell as usual, but redirects the output to a temporary named pipe, which bash creates, names and later deletes. Therefore, cat has a valid file name to read from, and we see the output of lsl, taking one more step than usual to do so. Similarly, giving commands results in bash naming a temporary pipe, which the commands inside the parenthesis read for input. If you want to see whether two directories contain the same file names, run the single command cmp ls/dir1 ls/dir2. The compare program cmp will see the names of two files which it will read and compare. Command substitution also makes the t command, used to view and save the output of a command, much more useful in that you can cause a single stream of input to be read by multiple readers without resorting to temporary files. Bash does all the work for you. The command
How is this an introduction to named pipes? Because it just says this uses actually is named pipe in the background, you know? I think that was really bad. And we got the link from here, that's why we did look at it. It then starts a netcat listener. So, I'm sorry, I won't read as much as usual.
The command first creates a named pipe at /tmp/f. It then starts a netcat listener, and connects the input of the listener to the output of the named pipe. The output of the netcat listener, i.e. the commands we send, then gets piped directly into sh, sending the stare output stream into stout, and sending stout itself into the input of the named pipe, thus completing the circle.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should just start with the box I'm going to look at later. If I can. Maybe I can't right now because it's okay, can't do that on stream. Alright, and it's past 17. Past 17 means I have an auto pop-up of Epic Games at like 12, because there are free games at 17 every day in my time. And I usually want to like check the old ones before, you know. And this is this week's apparently. Apparently this is this week's free. So if that's something to get to my kids, you know, I do. And for myself. So let's look at that later. No hurry now since it's already 17, so if I missed last week, I did.
Christy says.
Epic Games. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Every week. TikTok. I don't know how many games I have in there now. Lots of years. But they do repeat the games too.
Yeah, I know.
I was kind of thinking to do something where I want to read to you, you know, aloud, when my throat is not at the top. Is that smart? It's not that smart, but still. And also my brain is not like learning things. Yeah, I did learn things, but it was, you know, not as easy as it usually is. So we'll see. Let's just continue. So what am I actually looking at? Why do I have this up? 2 days ago? Okay, so this was something we did 2 days ago. Now I'm curious. What did I do 2 days ago? Alright. Okay, I know. Yeah, so I did that 2 days ago. Why did I have this tab open though? We looked at the bad quality and we looked at making gimbal. That's what I did at the start of stream. So let's go back to this explanation now from ChatGPT of this. So it breaks this down. So my thing with the pipe is just a pipe. Name pipe is just a pipe with a name. Okay, as it sounds like. And what I didn't know before is that this makes a name pipe. So now we know this, and I understand that this is just a name. I guess actually the name is F and this is path, you know? And then it does the next thing. And then it removes it at the end. So this is the part like that we are a bit interested in, or the most interested in. So let's go back to this, and I shouldn't have so many things open in between there, I guess. Oh, no, that was not empty. Let's just remove all of these. So the reason we're doing this is because that the E does not exist always. And that's why we have to type all of this instead. So to listen to their explanation, it starts with a netcat listener, then it connects the input of the listener to the output of the named pipe. So the input there's an arrow here in to netcat. The output of the netcat listener, i.e. what commands we send, then gets piped into SH. Well, because of this pipe then, sending the STDR out stream. Into STD out. And sending STD out itself into the input of the named pipe. So this is piped to this, which is sent to this, and this is sent to this. It's still kind of messy, right? So the STD out into the input of the named pipe. Maybe I'm just too tired. We'll see. Let's continue, and I can make notes when I'm more or less tired. More or less tired. That's not a sign that I'm tired to say that. Very similar command can be used to send netget reverse shell. So let's say we have both up here. It makes this again. Removes it at the end. So this is IP port, and the same thing. This command is virtually identical, yeah. When targeting a modern Windows server, it's very common to require partial reverse shell. So we'll be covering the standard one-liner PSH reverse shell here. This command is very convoluted. So for the sake of simplicity, it will not be explained here. So it's much simpler not to explain things, then people understand everything, right? Not? And I'm kind of thinking I should stop streaming when I'm this tired. Yeah. So let's just do that, and I'll take a bit of a rest, and then I have in 2 hours Gar's